Yeah. Call a Dickinson County regular meeting order June 20th, 2024. Please stand for flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd make the motion to approve the agenda with the removal of the review and approve the maintenance agreement for the courthouse elevator and add an expense from the Memorial Hospital to the Harrington Clinic of $17,000.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consent agenda. Minutes of the June 13th meeting. Payroll of $408,282.76. Credit card wire payments of $21,532.30. Utility wires of $9,744.12.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Commissioner comments and committee reports. Ron?
Just want to make a couple comments. Enjoy the rain coming in. Our farm ponds are full. It looks like wheat harvest has started and stopped again, but I think they'll get rolling here in the next week. So we're glad of that. That's all I have.
Lynn?
We had a board meeting for Central Kansas Mental Health, and I represent the commission on that board, as well as Levita Montgomery, who lives over in the Solomon area. And so things are going well there. And then I did receive notification. There will be a change of command ceremony over at Fort Riley that's coming up. And so I plan to attend that. And I'll have a new commanding general come in. So that's all I have.
Our work session this morning, Jessica Goodall from the Dickinson County Economic Development Corporation presented her budget. Nick Atchison from the Tri-County Fair Board presented his. Marcus, our finance and assistant county administrator, presented other budget information to us. And we went over these work sessions greatly.
Did I put too much on there? Is that what you're telling me?
Anybody on the internet? Public comments?
Does not look like there's anybody online.
Moving on then. Now,
Commissioners, good news, paving is complete on Old 40, and they're now filling the driveways and the road crossings. And down the road, we will have that striped. As you know, that's the priority, has been a priority for many years for the county to make sure our roads are striped. That will take place. They also will have time to pave Hawk Road from 3400 Avenue North to Industry. It's about 5 miles, and they're moving equipment now, and they should start on that Monday. So that's good news. We'll also be able to do 17 miles of chip seal, and Martin will get those identified and make sure that I get them posted. So trying to mow the county roads. As you know, the rain that we've had is see some grass growing, and they are blading on 1400 Avenue again with the weather. That's helped. 1145 First Road, the walkthrough with the state of Kansas has been completed and everything went well. So that's very encouraging. The environmental staff is spraying and they're working on pulling bus thistle, trying to keep that under control. And EMS staff has gone through a medical disaster training. They went through that yesterday. So it's just the response side of that. So I'm continuing to try to keep up on our training and prepare. And that's all I would have.
any questions for Janelle?
Just one question. We aren't going to consider it today, but it was brought up. You have potentially on the agenda for a truck for e-waste. Do you want to, any information we need to know in advance on that? So, but yes, are we
So that
not necessary today, I guess, is what the point is. So
we came across a truck, the highway department came across a truck, and Derek had spoken to our head mechanic, Billy, about that. Currently, e-waste sits in a trailer that had been provided by that company, and then the county and the past few years have been hauling it to Manhattan. And of course, it's not our trailer, so that is a concern about hauling or pulling a trailer that doesn't belong to us. That's a liability that we're incurring. So they came across this box truck. It is under 26,000 pounds, so it does not require CDL, and the environmental staff would be able to take that to Manhattan and drop off the e-waste. And Trinex is the company that we utilize that. So, but since this came up very quickly, we thought that we would at least get it on your radar and consider changing that over and getting that trailer off of our premise and using our own truck to haul that, and it made more sense. The fact that it's also going through a residential area, we have to use our semi to haul it. It's very time consuming, and the guys are not comfortable with pulling that trailer through the residential area and dropping off the e-waste. So came across this. It's in Wamego for $28,750, but we can certainly look for others. I did get a text from Derek, and it still needs to have an assessment done on it. So we'll have Billy take a look at it as well. So
it may not be available next week.
It may not.
Possibly, we're willing to.
But we can continue to look, and we haul e-waste 4 or 5 times a year. So
That's the only thing I want is clarification, since we were pushing it back. It may not be available.
The county can use it for other things other than e-waste too, right?
it will most likely would set out there because we do regularly receive e-waste, and I don't have the sheet with the tonnage that we collect annually, but it's well over 100 tons of memory serve. So, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We'll have, we moved recovery court from yesterday over to today, so we'll have that this afternoon. And the contracts with the 4 attorneys that are involved in court appointed throughout the court system here, they're up to speed, seem to be working well, so hopefully it'll stay that way. And that's where we are with it right now. In a little bit, I'll go up and be with Judge Googler on a care and treatment case, and we'll see if we can make it through that and in a good way. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for Doug? I think Clerk Jeannie Livingston.
I'm sorry, one thing I wanted to pass on, Rose Jones wanted to say thank you for the flowers that you sent. Her father passed away, so I saw my note late, sorry.
Okay. I wanted to talk about the fireworks permits. We are currently taking those. In 16, the county passed a permit where we had to have fireworks permits. They are free. It's more, I feel like, for the safety. After we collect all these permits, we have a spreadsheet and we take it down to 911. And part of the process on the application is that you provide 2 phone numbers, and that way if there's a fire or something in the first number can't contact somebody, then they have a second number to contact somebody. So they are on our website, or you can come in. Like I said, it's free, and they are only for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th from the hours of 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. And they can email them, fax them, or come in and do it in person. We have a number assigned to each one of them, and that's how we keep track of. And that's what they use in 911.
And I've also spoken to the sheriff. If there's an issue, they'll send a deputy out to investigate. And depending on the situation, they could get a warning, or based on the resolution that you passed, there could be a Class B charge on that. So.
What are the dates as far as the sale of the fireworks, but also setting off the fireworks?
Setting off is just the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Selling is a whole different.
The city set their own.
Yeah, and this is strictly county.
So I guess where I'm headed with this, and I think it'd be important for us to get some feedback
This,
than we have previously. But next year, for example, July 4th is on a Friday. You're running into a weekend, and it has come up before, should the date to set off fireworks
change.
change? Should it go past by one day, since Saturday is kind of a more of a weekend day? And having brought this up, I know there's the safety concerns because often you're in wheat harvest and the fields are, you have all that stubble out there. There's also people that do not enjoy the sound of the fireworks. And so, but I think it's just something that we need to consider. It's come up, and
I just know
we're
when,
looking at, but it's important to give time to get feedback, so it's just not like a
Well, and your
decision.
resolution states the sale of fireworks is authorized only between June 27th through July 4th of each year between the hours of 8 and 10. So it is specified in there. And then the permit also designates on there that it's only can be discharged through,
from,
July.
1st of July through the 4th. So, right. I mean, that is something, but then you'd have to,
You may want to have in there also 2 hours after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
I think that, as I recall, though, they wanted set dates so that
yes,
every year it wasn't changed.
right.
Okay. Okay.
I think
Well,
that's-
I think it's just good to bring it up, and if there's some discussion or some suggestions people have, we can address them, and
Right.
we can leave it status quo, but we also have opportunity. We can make some adjustments. It's for the betterment.
Right. Right.
How would the county or how would the public be notified that this is a requirement to get a certificate or whatever? A
So
permit?
Jeannie talked about it on the radio yesterday. She did a good job.
Okay.
And it is good,
It's on our
and it's on the website.
It's on the website.
And then she pushed it out.
And I think it was in the paper. I know it was in the paper.
Okay.
It's been on the paper. It's been on our website.
Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
Okay.
And like I said, this is something we've had in the county since 16, so it's not something new.
Not for some people, surprised.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jeannie?
Nope, that is,
We have no notices, communications, no introduction.
I did have someone mention as far as just communication, and it was just thanking the county for addressing the intangible tax, and that intangible tax was removed. And it goes into effect 12/31/24, so after that.
Mhm.
But anyway, I had a couple of individuals bring that up, that they appreciated that we removed that tax.
Right. It's just county intangible, not township intangible. So as long as they understand that, depending on the township that they live in. So,
Okay,
yes.
and they may not have.
Right.
Any other thing? Unfinished business, none. Other business? The approval for the expense for the hospital, the Harrington Clinic, $17,000.
Commissioners, as you recall, the Harrington Hospital closed last year in October, and Memorial Hospital has decided that it would be in the best interest of the citizens and the county to open up a clinic there. And they were working with KDHE to receive a permit to operate the clinic there, but they also had to do some renovations on those sites that they decided on that they were going to hold the clinic in. And they came to you and to the Community Foundation and asked for some assistance to do some of the renovations, get some supplies. They added 2 exam rooms along with equipment, and their staff fortunately was able to do a lot of that. But Harold provided a detailed list, and that included the vanities, the carpet protectors, exam table and chairs, which obviously is going to be a big expense. You've seen that from our stuff ourselves, doors, electrical, woodworking, awning, things like that. So he provided a list. And as you were talking with Harold on this several months ago, it was determined that we would share cost with the hospital and with the community foundation. They approached the community foundation as well. And 17,000 was the dollar that was the dollar amount that you had agreed upon, and community foundation as well. So we had talked about 25,000 in the past, but with the fact that the community foundation was also willing to participate, then they reduced we reduced the number that we would be willing to provide. So, and that's where we come up with the 17,000. And the detailed list is provided if you have any questions on that.
Any questions for Janelle?
Well, I think lots of people recognized it as a need, and I certainly applaud Memorial Health System and Harold and those involved, because they did a lot of work above and beyond
Exactly.
to get this thing going. And I think probably our economic development people were involved too. So there were a lot of windshield time and sweat that went into it. I'm glad we could help.
Absolutely. It's a benefit to our citizens there. And I know that EMS staff, as John has said, our calls have increased and they've come up to the ambulance barn there and asked for assistance. So I think this is going to be a big thing for the community and much appreciated.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Future meeting and agenda items. We will be touring the Juvenile Detention Center in Junction City next Thursday, and we'll be over there at 1 o'clock. Anything else come before the board? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Stand adjourned.